And that was in 1968 that happened, I believe. But he succeeded, and he's fine. I'm gonna meet him someday. We got 15 minutes. I got just enough time to finish him. I got a friend from church. He's actually one of the pastors, and he said when he was younger, he actually has the most beautiful tenor voice I've ever heard in my whole life. And he said when he was younger, he sang baritone. He was real low. But then as he got older, he started singing higher. And I've had that too, because I listen to so much of the Beach Boys and singing along with them. And actually, I get to go see them tomorrow. Well, the three important ones. But he said, the Lord blessed me with the voice of a lady. And it's such a nice voice. This is called Selfish Man. I sing in a falsetto on this one, so I'll move back. I am a very selfish man. You know that it's true. That's why I live without you. You had no way of knowing that my fears were rooted fertile land, and our silence kept them growing. Now it's been 2 years and I still can't sleep. I hope you're better off than me. I'm a selfish man. I hope you're better off than me. I'm a selfish man. I'm a very selfish man. So I had my great grandfather came over from Sweden, and he bought a farm, and it was a big farm. It was a nice farm. I wasn't alive then, but my dad was. And when he got old, the custody of the farm went over to the children, and they sold it. And I don't think my dad has really ever recovered from that. There's 20 acres left, and that's the first verse is about that. This is called Rusty Chains. boy, I spent my summers on my father's farm, a place where the worth of a man was measured by the size and shade of his forearms. And to this day I still carry most of my grandfather's northern charm. And inside the lessons that I learned from him are the sights and scents from his old barn. Now Granddaddy's gone and his old farm is overrun by weeds and trees. The gate's held shut by a rusty chain and a lock that knows no keys. Lindsay was the queen of my nights, though she never did find peace. And her beauty burned the burning lust inside every deity in Greece. And one night she stood right over me and she said, I shall be released. The confession that came from her afterwards broke my knees, and confession that came from her afterwards stole my breath and broke my knees. She said, Brady, if you're looking for love, you shouldn't waste your time on me. My heart is bound by a rusty chain and a lock that knows no keys. Later that night, the hurt hit harder than it ever had before. So I drank myself past overflow and passed out prostrate on the floor. And in the midst of what I might call a dream came a scene I could not ignore. A man in white I didn't recognize stood to greet me at the door. He said, son, you're in. I died for your sins, and I set all the captives free. And up here there ain't no rusty chains, and I hold all the keys. He said, son, you're in. I died for your sins, and I set all the captives free. And up here there ain't no rusty chains, and I hold all the keys. Thank you. That one wears me out. Alright. I got a couple more here. 7 minutes. It's called Gifts of the Cross.
There's something floating in my water.
Release or something. Honestly, there is. I'll drink it. Yeah, it's man's power. Know that man like great oaks, so I made one for you to wear. I know that you miss your burdens, so I gave you mine to bear. there's a new one on the way. And I've heard your prayers for rebirth, and for that my blood is paid. These are the gifts of the cross, given to the found and the lost. Some of you are filled with sorrow. You've watched joy leave your house. But be strong and of good courage, for me you'll never be without. And joy is the gift of the cross. Freedom, I've paid the cost. And I am the gift of the cross. I'm here for you, I was the cause. Joy is the gift of the cross. And freedom, I've paid the cost. And I am the gift of the cross. Here for you, I was the cause. Thank you. So I have hopes of someday making a recording that would be classified as an album, and not just a bunch of terrible sounds that come from my tiny computer speaker that is so pathetic. Oh man, it is terrible. And I got a name for the album and everything, and I got the songs written, I just haven't done it yet. But this is going to be the last song, if that doggone thing ever gets written, or ever gets recorded. It's called Lost in You. Fire burns hot, the stars are bright. heard a choir of wolves just out of sight. They were actually coyotes. It's not as romantic. Who cares about a stupid coyote? I find myself getting lost in you, struggling and searching for some truth. And when you get to wishing that we were still sharing nights, girl, get undressed and go outside, 'cause I'll be singing with the wolves for you tonight. And when you get to wishing that we were still sharing nights, girl, get undressed and come outside, 'cause I'll be singing with the wolves just outside. 'Cause I'll be singing with the wolves just outside. So if you see me sitting on some stage and it seems like I've fallen apart, got a badly beaten, self-inflicted, broken heart, I'm both the victim and the accused. I was tried and convicted for my part, awaiting the sentencing for my self-inflicted broken heart. The judge winked at me and he told the crowd that I'd serve life in prison without my art. Justice had been served for this self-inflicted broken heart. Now there's pieces scattered all around my soul. Still I'm not sure where to start in the reconstruction of my self-inflicted broken heart. I write songs to cash in on my pain, but I know if I were smart